Let's go! Let's go, everyone. Welcome to the Let's Go Network. I am Dollar Bill, and welcome to this edition of SPiTBALLiN for the Monday after the NFL season in dramatic fashion last night. It's really cold on Long Island today. It's only 28, but it feels much, much colder, and tomorrow night should be, near single digits. And, where can we start today's show? And, of course, please like and subscribe. I don't know what I guys got to do. I put on a good show. My people behind the scenes do a good job. Can you please like and subscribe? Take a look at us on TikTok and Facebook and Twitter and, of course, YouTube. Check us out, please. We do a pretty good job. We do it for you. We do it for us, but we do it for you, too. We try and put away a good show every day, or just about 5 days a week here on the Let's Go Network. But where do we start? Except the NFL. And, the more things we know about the NFL this season, the less we know. The Colts have not won in Jacksonville since 2014. And that trend continued yesterday afternoon. The Colts needing to win to get in the playoffs, they got hammered. They lost 26-11, to be fair. The game wasn't even that close. Carson Wentz reverted to Carson Wentz of 2019 instead of the guy who was the leading candidate for MVP 5 years ago. They really pooped the bed on that one, and that's about as good as I can say. Pittsburgh stayed alive somehow and managed a win in Baltimore in some tough circumstances. They came back from the dead and somehow managed to, and when we mean squeak into the playoffs, they squeaked into the playoffs only because the game last night, it may have not been the best played game in the history of the NFL, but I will say this. It may have gone down as the craziest game in NFL history. It was a win-or-go-home kind of game, except for the little tidbit. If the team somehow managed a tie, both the Chargers and the Raiders would have gone to the playoffs, and Big Ben would have ended his illustrious career on the bench, losing in dramatic fashion, sending him into retirement, and he would be absolutely sick. But the game last night, the Raiders jumped out early to a 10-0 lead. It was back and forth. Crazy decisions. And you're gonna learn something right now. And if you're gonna watch my videos, I'm just gonna tear some people apart. We talk about analytics in sports these days, and it's a topic that you really cannot avoid. We see it a lot in baseball, and we saw it, evolve in the movie Moneyball. And, the Oakland A's, which Moneyball was created about, not to say other teams didn't use it, but that's what the movie was about. It worked well over 162 games. But when they got into a 7-game playoff scenario or a 1-game scene where you needed to win and move on, analytics just don't work. Sometimes you got to trust your gut, and it takes some balls in the society to do that. And that's one of the reasons why Oakland has never won. And analytics last night reared its ugly head again, where Coach Staley of the Chargers, the decisions turned out right and turned out wrong, but the premise is really awful. The guy doesn't like to punt on anything close. And at a point during the game, I think they were down 16-10, whatever it was. They were only down 3 or down 6. I kind of lost track because it was just an insane game. But 4th and a yard and a half on his own 18-yard line midway through the third quarter. Run play up the middle gets absolutely stuffed, which by rights, the Raiders let him off the hook. They went 3 and out. That play cost them 3 points. They lost the game by 3 points. But I'm not even going to make too much of that decision. But, man, could that have ended the game right there? They could have let the wind fall out of their sails. The Raiders played it a little conservative instead of punching in the end zone and trying to grab the Chargers' neck and squeeze it. I'm not going to go on that call. But I am going to go on a call that happened late in the game. It was 29-14 with 4:20 to go, and Justin Herbert was fantastic. He took a beating. He took a beating like Eli took in the NFC Championship game about 10 years ago in San Francisco. He got beat, and he kept making plays and plays and plays. He scored a touchdown to get him within technically one score at 29-20. Now the call right there with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game was brutal. Now it worked out, but it was really asinine. Because whoever writes the analytics book say you go for 2. Because you're going to need the ball again anyway, which makes sense. And they ended up making a hell of a play and cutting it to 7 at 29-22, making a true one-touchdown game. But what if they missed? What if they missed? If they missed right there, the game was over. I mean, legitimately, the game was over. Because if they missed a 2-point conversion, instead of being down 7 with a conversion, 8 with an extra point, but 9 with a miss. 9 is 2 possessions with 4:20 to go and 3 timeouts. Legitimately, they would have an onside kick. The Raiders could run it into the ground 3 times. They'd use all their 3 timeouts. Or if they heaven forbid they got one first down, the game was over. The game was over anyway. They would have needed 27 things happen perfectly to keep the game alive. And, Staley's not going to lose any sleep over the call, and it worked out. But that is stupidity beyond stupidity as a head coach in basically a playoff game, in a winner-take-all game, when the tie, the tie is a win. You're not playing you don't even have to win. You just got to get the game tied. Unbelievably dumb. It kind of worked out, so the point is a little bit moot. So we managed that, and then Justin, brings his team down on a 19-play, 90-yard drive, whatever it was. It took 22 minutes of real time. It took 3 fourth-down conversions, one with the clock at 00, to get the game tied. Unbelievable. 19 plays, 80 yards, whatever it was, 2:06 of game time, 22 minutes of real-life time. Got the game tied to overtime. Now, Big Ben and Mike Tomlin must have been pooping their pants. But, the Raiders come down, kick a field goal, make it 32-29. They make some more plays. I want to say Hebert, but it's Herbert, because I'm thinking of Bobby Hebert all the time. But Justin Herbert was awesome. Completed another 4th down catch. He got him down the field. Long story short, they kick a field goal to tie it with about 4 minutes to go, and you're thinking, could this be like this? I mean, it would be a perfect play where the Raiders would just run the ball down the field because a tie is a win. And they ran it down to 40 seconds, and it's 3rd and 4. And for some strange reason, they called timeout. The Chargers, they just needed to let the time sit. They weren't going to throw the ball. They were going to run it. Just slowed up the run, but the timeout caused them to change personnel and did something a little bit different, and got themselves a 10-yard run, and then decided to try and kick a field goal to win the game with 2 seconds left. Now, a run right there, not a timeout, They could have sat on the ball and took the tie and sent Pittsburgh home and the Chargers to the playoffs. Unbelievable. They said, you know what? We're going to try and win. And the guy who has never missed a kick in Las Vegas Raiders Stadium kicked one through the uprights. It was close, but he made it through. The Raiders make it through to the playoffs. The Chargers go home, and Big Ben will play his final game against Patrick Mahomes. You can't make it up. Analytics is here to stay, but when you use analytics the wrong way, you go home. It worked out for you, Staley. You got lucky there, but you know what? You still went home. And that's it for this edition of SPiTBALLiN. You can hear us on the Let's Go Network, on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and TikTok. Please subscribe. We got to get our followers up. That's all I ask. Just give me one subscribe, one like. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. It would be a great thing. So, $1 bill reminding you to make some common sense out of your sports and your life. Catch you next time. Bye.